Hi friends, it's Anne here, and today's video is a little makeup wish list type video, I think mashed up with a sort of will I buy it type video. I started tracking a wish list similar to what Kat was doing last year when she was doing her no buy, but she was sort of keeping track of some things that she wanted to buy. I thought that was a really good idea because I'm on a limited budget. I'm not on a no buy, but I am on a limited budget. And when I do have some room in my budget to buy stuff, I don't want to go like all willy-nilly and buy like the first shiny thing I see. I kind of want to be a bit more purposeful and think about the things that I wanted to buy, if that makes sense. Although I already just went to Marshall's like a few days ago and bought a couple things that I didn't need to buy. But we're all learning and growing all the time. So, I mean, if this type of video is a bit of a like temptation for you, like if you're on a no buy and you are not interested in seeing this, like exit out now. I'm totally cool with that. I know that watching some of these types of videos, if you're really trying to stay away from buying anything new, can be difficult. But if you're like me and you like to window shop, and I love to window shop all the time, I have no problem with like filling my cart with a bunch of stuff and then never buying it. Do that all the time. I actually have unsubscribed though from a lot of emails of things. So I usually just see things either through other people's YouTube videos or on Instagram. So I can't recall if I mentioned this was something that I was actually going to tack on to my monthly buys and buys video, but that video is already long enough. And I was like, I don't want to put that in there as well. And I don't really want to do this monthly either. I might do this like every couple of months. And I'll talk about some of the things that are on my wish list. Once I've talked about it, I'm not going to mention it again unless I like decide to actually buy it. And yeah, so we'll start with my wish list and then maybe we'll go on to like trend mood and see what's kind of new over the past month and a half or 2 months and see if there's anything else there that sort of piques my interest. I'm going to move over a little bit so I can like put things on the screen. So this list actually was also inspired by the Huda Beauty Rose Quartz palette. So I definitely wanted to buy this when I saw it come out and I saw everybody's videos on it. I feel a little bit better about not buying that right now because I got the Natasha Denona Retro palette, and while they're different, like the Rose Quartz one is a bit cool toned and purpley, and then the Retro is a bit more pink and berry and maybe a bit deeper. I feel like they're in the same wheelhouse, like they're, you know, a similar size type palette. They're like cousins in their sort of color families, so I feel okay not getting that anytime soon. If it comes on sale, I also don't want to buy it full price, so I only will buy it if it's on sale. So it's the same as the Mercury Retrograde. That one keeps coming on sale, and I bought that one on sale, and I really like that palette, so I'm hoping that comes on sale at some point this year and I can pick it up. Another item that I was interested in, and this came across my like eyeballs, I don't know how else to say this. I saw this when I was looking up the Danessa Myricks foils that I got in my Beautylish, and I saw that there's these chrome pencil eyeliners, and I think they look really cool. They look like the Clionadh shadows, but in a pencil form. And if you know me, I love eyeliner pencils. I could have a million eyeliner pencils. I'm totally okay with that. Anything else in my collection I like to keep smaller, but eyeliner pencils, totally okay with having a lot of them, because I'd like to have different kinds. I haven't seen these like in real life action yet. I've only seen like the Instagram photos and videos and then the stuff on like Beautylish's website. They look really cool, but I'm gonna wait to see kind of what they look like in real life before there's something that I'll actually maybe pick up, because I feel like a lot of the Danessa Myricks stuff from what I'm seeing now is a little bit hit and miss. Some things are really good and some things are not, so we'll kind of see how that goes. Another thing that I'm sort of interested in, and I think it's mostly just because of the hype, because it's probably not really anything special at all, but it's probably nice, is the Makeup by Mario Moisture Glow Plumping Lip Serum. This is basically like a tinted lip balm. It looks really nice. Again, I'm super intrigued by it because it's my type of product. I love like a tinted lip balm. I love a nourishing lip product. And yeah, I'm just super intrigued by it, especially because of the hype around it. It's like, I think when I looked it up on Sephora, like every single shade was sold out except for like one. But yeah, I'm super intrigued by that. I don't know if I will end up buying it. I'd really hope it might come in like a lip kit or something, like one of the Sephora lip kits, because that would be really cool. I doubt it though, because it's too popular for that. I apologize, my lighting is going to go in and out today. It's really, really sunny, and we got a ton of snow, and so the sun is like reflecting off the snow when it comes out, and it's like, it'll go like super bright and then super dark and then super bright. It's super dark. So yeah, just trying to go with it. I'll put pictures up, so hopefully that draws your attention. Next up is actually two things from NYX, which I did end up buying. I bought the NYX Thick It Stick It Brow Gel. I love the name Thick It Stick It. I got that in taupe, and I did talk about this in my last video that I really like that product, and I actually do want to buy it in another shade. And the second product I bought is the NYX Bare With Me Serum Concealer. I bought it in the shade Beige, which is sort of like my skin tone shade. I think in the video I said porcelain. I don't know why I kept saying porcelain. I think the next shade up is vanilla. I think that's the shade that I want to buy. And again, I do like it, but I talked about that in my last video that because it's so much my skin tone that it doesn't really offer any sort of under eye brightening, and I wouldn't mind trying a brighter shade just to see what that would look like. I know I mentioned this in a previous video. I don't know exactly which one, probably my nail polish update video, but I've been seeing a lot of the OPI mini nail polish sets popping up at Marshall's. I've actually never tried OPI nail polish. One of the reasons why I've never tried OPI is it's more expensive than other brands. It's one of the reasons why I think I've only ever had, actually I've never had an Essie nail polish either. I think I've had an Essie, I do still have it, I have an Essie top coat and I hate it, it's terrible. But like that's why I'm like, I buy like Sally Hansen and the cheaper nail polishes, and I've never tried OPI, but I like the idea of getting like this sort of small samples, and I've seen some of them, at least I haven't seen them in store here, but I've seen some people post like on Instagram or in their YouTube videos at like TJ Maxx. They have some sets that have like some of their like most popular shades, like the names that like even I recognize, and I'm like, yeah, like those would be really nice. I did see a set recently that I was like, I almost bought, but I know I'm so over budget right now that I did not buy it. Yeah, just like the idea of having the mini nail polishes. I like to have a lot of different colors, and I think having the mini polishes sort of gets me that without like overwhelming myself with too much polish, if that makes sense. The last two things that I have on my list right now is I was watching Leah McDonald's video when she just posted with like her ColourPop order, and she had a Shoppers Drug Mart order, and as soon as she showed the Super Shock Shadows in Frog and Ladybird, I'm like, yep, I really want those. It's funny because I've seen them on their website and they didn't really jump out at me, but once I saw her swatches of them, especially Frog, I'm like, yeah, Frog looks really, really pretty. There's another shade. I was just watching Lauren May Beauty's video on her Super Shock Shadows. We have totally different tastes in what we like in eyeshadows, but well, I shouldn't say we have totally different tastes, because she went through a phase of like sort of sparkly topper type shades, and I was like, yeah, I like that stuff. But yeah, we have a different, like she likes a lot of greens and those kind of colors, and I'm not really into those. But there was a shade that was in hers that was like near the top, and I'm not sure which one it was. I want to say like Rain? No, I'm going to have to look it up. But I'm going to add that to my list too, because it looked really pretty. Okay, that's what's on my existing wish list right now. We'll see if we add to that or not. Let's go through some stuff on Trend Moods Instagram. So I'm just going to start off here on the post that she has around January 13th, because that is the Moisture Glow Plumping Lip Serum from Makeup by Mario. So again, looks like a really nice, pretty lip gloss. Just going to kind of scroll through this and see if there's anything else. So again, this is a bit old and not something that I'm interested in buying, but I just wanted to show this packaging is beautiful. If this had been, I'm Year of the Monkey, and if this had been monkey stuff, the Estee Lauder packaging for their Year of the Tiger is absolutely beautiful. I don't know what that one thing down on the left hand or right hand corner is, but it looks stunning. I would love to buy that just for the packaging. Even like myself, it's kind of like, I'm not Year of the Tiger, but if you like tigers or cats, it's beautiful. Here's something to talk about. So the e.l.f. Cookies and Dreams collection. I did watch Emily Noel's video on this where she reviewed most of the products. I would say I'm kind of interested in some of these. Like the palette looks really pretty. I like the looks that she had showed. That bottom left-hand corner, like shimmery periwinkle blue looks so pretty. But I feel like this palette, like you're gonna get like one note out of this, and I just don't think I would buy the palette or even the shadow sticks. I would say maybe the putty primer. The putty primer looks really, really nice. And I don't have a full size of that. I'm just kind of playing with some of the minis right now, and I do feel like I like it. I'm not sure I like it more. I don't know. I need to compare it to the Benefit Professional. I want to kind of play with the two of them together to see which one I like better, because the e.l.f. one is way more affordable. So if I like that one better, if it performs better, I might just stick with that instead of the Professional. So again, if money were not an object, the Chantecaille collection with the giraffe, that little quad looks super cute. I love the packaging of that. Actually, I am still somewhat miffed or upset or like, yeah, just sad that I missed out on the hummingbird collection that they had. I feel like that came out in 2018 or 2019. I don't think it was earlier than that. Fun fact, I have a hummingbird tattoo on my back, and yeah, I really like hummingbirds. Why do I like hummingbirds? Because they're birds, but they're tiny. Like, I'm like a person, but I'm tiny. So that's the gist of the hummingbirds. I mean, I like hummingbirds and like for other reasons, but that's the short story of that. But the packaging of that hummingbird stuff from years ago was beautiful. But Chantecaille is like way out of my budget for most things. Although again, like if I saved up and decided not to buy other stuff, I could buy it, I guess, technically. I'm not too interested in any of the new palettes from that collection, where it had like the dragonfly and the bee, and I forget what the other one was. I'm not really interested in those. They look nice, but none of them really call to me. So L'Oreal, looks like L'Oreal has a Age Perfect 4-in-1 Tinted Face Balm Foundation. I haven't heard anybody talk about this yet. I'm curious about it. I'm not really in the market for buying foundations at the moment. I have way too many. And I don't really want to do any foundation testing this year. I've already talked about that I would prefer to do some concealer testing this year and maybe skip over the foundation. But that does look kind of nice. I'm curious. I haven't heard anybody talk about this yet. It says, in a unique velvet texture with a luminous finish. In the past, I've never been a fan of like the moussey foundations. I know there's one, the Maybelline, was it Maybelline Dream Mousse? I think Emily Noel really liked it. I hated that stuff. Those just never sit nice on my face. Like when I had oily skin, I felt like they would go patchy. And then when my skin became more dry, it would stick to like the dry patches. I don't know. Maybe I just could never apply it properly. That's probably it. Now we're into like a ton of Valentine's collections. What do you guys think about Kylie Cosmetics? I think Kylie Cosmetics was added to Shoppers Drug Mart. I've never bought anything. I've never been interested in the brand, to be honest. I'm not a fan of the Kardashians. I prefer not to support that chaos, you know? Other people can go nuts, but not for me. But yeah, I'm curious to know, like, is there actually products that are pretty good? I think they're, like, reformulated or different now, aren't they? I don't know. Anyway, not really interested, to be honest. Ooh, there's a lot of posts. I saw there were new stuff from Holo Taco, the Winter Shimmers collection. They seem okay. I think there's other stuff at Holo Taco that I'm more interested in. Again, I keep saying I'm going to buy from them eventually. Christine, like, we live in the same province. Like, I should support my fellow Ontarian and Canadian, but I've just been holding off on buying a lot of polish because I had such a big collection that I don't want to go down that rabbit hole again. Speaking of Canadian, there's also a new Nomad palette. It's the like Whistler Lodge palette. The color story is kind of for me, but I kind of love it because of like the shade names. Like they have one called Bucking Great and Snowmad, and like the colors other than the greens. The thing is, to me, there's like what, 4 greens there, and that's a lot of green for me, and I'm not a green eyeshadow person. I'm trying to wear a yellow green today from the Neon palette. I don't love it. It's just not a color that I think looks very good on me. And actually, this is not very neon. It's pretty sheer. But anyway, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of greens on me. Like, I like the way that palette looks. Ooh, that's maybe something that I want to add to my list. I think it was called Haunted Europe palette was the other Nomad one that I really wanted. I definitely just want to try Nomad. Everybody talks about it and seems to really like it, and yeah, I'd like to try it. Ugh, that disgusting baloney face mask. Oh, the Pat McGrath Bridgerton collection. So I really did like the look of some of this. So I liked the look of the palette. I liked the look of the face palette. All of it looked really pretty. Again, Pat McGrath, kind of out of my price range. I don't know if I've seen anybody's review on this. I feel like the face palette is wouldn't work for me. Like the highlight's too dark, and like it's two pink blushes. Like it's pretty, but I wouldn't be interested in, like, to actually buy the face palette. The eye palette, potentially. Maybe if I came across somebody like reselling it. I don't know. That's a maybe for me. So M Cosmetics, that's another brand that I saw Emily Noel talk about it. I've seen a lot of people talk about a few of her eyeshadow palettes, and then obviously the blushes were popular a while ago. I just haven't been interested in M Cosmetics because, again, I haven't looked it up myself, not recently, but I'm pretty sure it's like stupid expensive to try and get them to ship here to Canada. So it's like, just doesn't interest me. Like there's nothing in these products that I think are like revolutionary. However, they do look really nice. Like if I could get them in a more affordable way, I would definitely be interested in it. Like I love this like boring, like the one eyeshadow palette here. It looks beautiful. And there's another eyeshadow palette. I don't know who has it, but I think it's got I think it might be Jessica Braun. It's got like a bit of a pink color to it. It looks beautiful. Definitely up my alley. But yeah, it's just not something I should see. I should go. I know, like, so this is something I often do, and I have to check myself. So I'll often be like, this is too expensive. I can't afford it. So I just don't even bother looking at it. And that's my dad. That's my dad speaking right there. I should actually go to the website, see what the actual prices are, see what it would actually cost to like, ship to me, and then decide, is it too expensive? Or am I just like, is it just a bias in my head? Like I've convinced myself, or I've heard other people that it's too expensive. Other people say it's too expensive to ship here, so I just haven't bothered. I need to investigate that more. It's definitely a brand, like if it were in Shoppers Drug Mart, like here, that I could just pick up, I probably would. Or like Sephora, I probably would. Wow, I'm still in January. She posts a lot. Oh, this Natasha Denona palette. I'm just like, this looks like a repeat of everything else. What is it called? Mini Crush. I mean, it looks pretty, but it doesn't look like anything new. I'm sort of skipping over some of the skincare stuff. Again, another ColourPop thing, the Rock Candy palette. Looks nice. I just am not a huge fan of the big palettes. I think, which one is it? The Stone Fox. That one was a little too one note. There's another one, Rose something. That one seemed more interesting to me. This one seems pretty interesting too. I'd have to look at the two side by side. I'm just not a huge fan of these giant palettes because I feel like they're very awkward. Can you pop the shades out of these? Does anybody know? Because if you could pop the shades out of them, then they'd be more practical. Then I'd be more interested. Now, there's some new Fenty lipsticks as well. I like that the idea that they're refillable. I know it's pretty expensive to buy like the packaging plus the lipstick, but I really do like the idea that they are refillable, so you're less waste if you buy the refills. So I'm curious about that. I haven't seen anybody talk about it yet, except for I think Tara Babies talked about that, but I can't remember what she said about the formula. I can only remember what she was talking about with like the problems with the packaging, which seemed like it was just sort of stiff when she first got it, but once she started using it, it was fine. But I cannot remember what she said at all, if she liked the formula. Anyway. Okay, I just want to talk about this for a second because it kind of grosses me out. I don't know about you guys. It's the Laneige Lip Sleeping Mask in chocolate. I love chocolate. I love mint chocolate. I love like chocolate scented. Like I have the Too Faced, like the chocolate scented stuff. So good. I don't know if it's just their advertising photos for this. Especially that first one. It kind of makes me gag. Like, and I love chocolate pudding too. But I just, as a lip product, too much. Too far. I don't really like this. At least from an advertising perspective. I probably would really like this product though. I do want to buy another one of these lip masks eventually, but I think I would lean towards, I think they had a mint one. I think they had a peppermint one last year, and I'm pretty sure there was like a mint chocolate one. Maybe just a mint one. Like it was in light green packaging, I think. If that came up, I would definitely want to buy that one. LYS. So LYS has a concealer. So I haven't yet to try anything from LYS. This brand was really hyped. I don't know if it was 2020 when it came out, or 2021 when it got really popular, but basically everything's all sold out all the time. So I just haven't bought it, and it seems like a lot of other people have done reviews on it and really liked it, so I just haven't like sort of bit the bullet and gone ahead and bought some of these products, but I am super curious about LYS. I think it's available here in Canada. I can't remember at Sephora, but yeah, curious to try that. Although, like I said, I mentioned earlier, I want to do some concealer testing. I want to focus on drugstore concealers. So there's also a new collection from Collidos called the Smoky, what do they call this? The Smoky Nostalgia Collection. I haven't actually watched anybody's videos on this. I've just seen people like have it on their thumbnails and stuff. I'm not interested in this whatsoever. I love grays and cool tones, but this just doesn't, I don't know. Just seems meh. Seems okay. Maybe just haven't, like again, I haven't watched anybody's video on it, but it's not jumping out at me that's something I'm interested in. Does anybody feel like, sometimes I feel like my mood too when I'm looking at stuff that I'm like either super interested in, I'm like, yeah, that seems really cool. And then I'm just like, other days I'm like, not interested. Swipe right, or no, swipe left, I don't know how the app works. Swipe the way if you don't want it. I feel like if I run the app, I'd just be like, nope. Okay, here's something new that's been popping up a lot on YouTube. This is the, I'm gonna say her name totally wrong. Angelica Nyquist, the Hella palette. This palette looks beautiful. So I will say, like, Odin's Eye packaging looks absolutely beautiful. Last year when they did the trio with Judy, the Fancy Face, and Annette, I was really considering buying one of those palettes. One of the reasons why I didn't was I just know I won't use any of them. Like, none of them was really a color story that I knew I would use regularly. And I was really interested in the Fancy Faces one. I do follow her on YouTube, and I love hummingbirds, and I loved like the design of her package, and the colors were beautiful. They're just not colors I'm like gonna wear regularly, so I ended up not buying it. I am kind of kicking myself because I really did want to get it. This palette again looks beautiful. I love their like artistic design of their palettes, and they're like the design on them. I just mentioned this though, I'm not a green eyeshadow person. I don't really wear greens very often. I don't like the way they look on me very much. I can get away with some greens, but other greens it just doesn't really go with my coloring very well. And this is at least half the palette's green. And so it's just not something I would be interested in, but it looks beautiful. Like, I love even the detail around like the shades where it's sort of like that neon green. I think that looks so cool. It's a beautiful palette, just not for me. Oh, so this is interesting. This looks like a new Too Faced palette called Sunset Stripped. It looks kind of similar to, so the other Too Faced palette that's like this, I forget the name of it. I am kind of interested in that. Kat talks about it. She really likes it. It's something that, it's older. It's like 2 or 3 years old now, but it does look really pretty. This one, no, it's not my style. It's a bit like deeper, which is kind of nice. I feel like the other one was pretty light. This one has a bit more depth to it, but I've talked about this, that because I have deep set eyes, I don't really like to wear a lot of dark shadows, not on the regular anyway. So for me, like, a palette doesn't need to be very deep. That's something that I always disagree with Emily Noel on. Not disagree, but where our preferences very much differ. I don't feel like I need super depth. I need like a dark brown, but one, and that's it. I'm fine with that. And even then, it could be like closer to a mid-tone and I'm still fine. Ooh, is this a new Nash palette? Nash has a new palette. So that's actually something I'm super interested in. So a lot of people got the Nash palette in their lucky bag. I am kind of jealous because I do really want that palette. I know there's mixed feelings about it, but I'm really drawn to that palette. I think it's so unique, and I love the idea of sort of blending the shades and getting like basically a unique shade every time. Like, you can use the one end, the other end, right in the middle, kind of a bit of both. Like, I really like that concept, and this one looks really cool too. Oh man, it's just so expensive. Like, I forget how much that was worth Canadian, but it's a pricey palette. Again, a lot of people got that in their Beautylish lucky bag, and I know they didn't really like it, so maybe I can buy it secondhand. I haven't really been looking, like, we have Poshmark now here in Canada, but I looked back in like the fall and early winter, and I felt like there was like nothing there. Like, the makeup that I could find was like the same old stuff over and over and over again, and it didn't really interest me. I feel like one of the better places to find some makeup is, like, secondhand makeup is through Reddit. There's a few like Canadian makeup threads, and I know people use those because I actually have bought makeup secondhand through that, and that worked pretty well. It's a bit scary though, I'm not gonna lie. Buying anything like secondhand is a bit scary. And anyway, the whole story is I do kind of want that Hindash palette, but yeah, I don't want to pay full price for that. And I'm really liking the way this, the color story of this second palette. This looks really, really nice. So yeah, I'm gonna maybe add some things to my wish list here so I don't forget about them. But yeah, that's all that I really want to do is just sort of talk about some new makeup, talk about things that I'm interested in, and I want to keep a wish list sort of active so that, yeah, when the time comes that I can buy something, or if something does pop up that's something that I really, really wanted and it comes on sale, like, you know what, probably get it. Like, it's time to get it. I have no idea where I left off. I've had to like stop filming for a while because of all the noise going on around me. It's not been that bad, but it's just like one thing and then another thing. So I think it's just time to wrap up this video. I hope you like this video idea. I mean, again, it's nothing new, but if you like this type of video from me and you want to see a future video from me like this, you know, give a little thumbs up down below. Down below, and let me know down below if you like this video and if there's anything on your wish list. If there's something that you're really hoping to get, you know, either it came out recently or it came out last year. I'm curious to know what's you know piquing your interest these days. So if you like this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up down below. And if you haven't already, I would love it if you subscribe to my channel here in Toronto, Canada. I hope you're doing well, and I'll see you sometime soon. Bye. I was gonna do this as part of my buys and buys. I really wanted to film this today, but a neighbor is deciding to be a weekend warrior, I guess, and doing some construction. I'm trying to film when it's quiet. I thought it was quiet. It's quieter. So I'm hoping you guys won't be able to hear that too much and I can cut it out as much as possible. If not, I'm gonna have to film this again. Anyway, hi love. You don't want to see Harley? He's extra. I'm not able to film. Extra floofy. His hair's really long. Your head makes my head look so small. Can you see your face?